Hello, everyone. This is Martha. I am a relationship counselor and clinical sexologist, and it's been a while since I made a video because I've been really busy. I've been busy with my Dance Yourself Free Challenge. We've been doing a dance video every day for 30 days, and then we did another cycle, and now we're actually on the third cycle. So every day I'm doing at least two dance video, once in the subsequent daily dance group that we have, and then there's the monthly dance group that is now being headed by Diana. And so yeah, I've been busy with the dance challenge and also with moving my office. So you are right now seeing me in my office. Okay, so just to show you a little bit, that's the door, that's chair, and then that's the sofa. And okay, right now the laptop is resting on the stand, and then there's a bookshelf here on my left. So I just want to talk very briefly about this thing that I just came up with. A lot of times when we talk about dating someone, we show them our best selves because it's not that we may be intentionally lying or misrepresenting ourselves. It's that when you like someone, you do put in a little bit more effort to please them and make them happy. And so we show off our best selves during that honeymoon phase. And so there are people who say if they are showing this side of themselves during this dating, they are not enthusiastic, they are not showing up truly, they're not showing their best selves as we are just starting to date, then it's a telltale sign that the relationship is going to be like difficult down the road. I kind of agree because we show our best selves because we want people to like us. And if we have that best self show up, then it is possible to do it and to do it again. So sometimes our best self is not sustainable because it is not really who we are, but there is something that is inside them. And so there is that potential. When the relationship is then formed, I call it forming, and then after that, the norming. So the norming is when you come together as a couple. Maybe you start to get engaged, and you are now married. Then you show your real self, the side of you that without all the glitz and glimmer and the advertising and the branding, that is your real self when you're at home wearing your pajamas and or not wearing your pajamas. And the real self sometimes can be quite a shock. You can call it some kind of a culture shock. So it's very different from the best self. And that is when the cookie crumbles. This is when the bubble bursts. This is when people feel misled and they feel that the honeymoon phase is over because the real self is so different from the best self. And a lot of times, what actually happens in a long term relationship is if somebody is like lower than expectation, perhaps maybe not the person that you thought they were, what happens is the other person is paddling underneath, like the duck, underwater is paddling badly, the duck. So the other person is trying to um, fix the gap, the leaking pipe. I come up with all these weird analogies on the spot. And so the other person is trying to fix the leaking gap. And so what they end up doing is they kind of like compensate, right? So if it's like this, they think like, okay, we meet, we are our best selves. Uh-oh, you are now your real self. Your real self is not acceptable. I'm gonna try to fix things. So they try to overperform, stretch themselves, overexert themselves. And so this person here is now the lazy person, the lazy self. So this um, performing like in a underperforming kind of a level in the relationship is not really who they are because actually you've just cut them slack by doing this extra part. And so this is when a lot of relationships will have a person who is super unhappy because this person feels that they are overgiving, overdoing, overperforming. and the other person is like, you're not doing anything, you haven't been doing anything for the longest time, and you're not standing up, you're blah blah blah. And so imagine, actually, when this was happening, when they showed their real self and it was not acceptable, why did you why did you do this? Why did you do this? We just kind of unconsciously do it. I'm not blaming anybody. We just unconsciously do it. And so when you're conscious that you are actually doing catch up for the shortfall, it's really important to say, hey, this wasn't what I signed up for. You can also say, hey, just to give you the heads up, this is what's happening. It's not really working for me. So really learning how to assert yourself as opposed to being passive or passive aggressive and being like really, really uncomfortable and doing different ways to kind of like sabotage a relationship by or torturing the person unconsciously, or like making faces behind their back, or like talking bad about them behind their back. This is very Asian, isn't it? We talk bad about people behind their back because that's our way of coping with the stress and the unhappiness. But actually, because you're unhappy, because your partner is actually doing their lazy self, I think it's really important to start to. So when you lighten up and not overdo, maybe this person will start to step up. So let's hope that with this little video, there's a little bit more awareness of what might be happening in your relationship dynamics. I'm not here to say who is right, who is wrong. I'm not here to say what you have been doing is good or bad. I'm not here to pass any labels. I'm just here to illuminate. Is there a possibility that using these terms that Martha just came up with, the best self, the real self, and the lazy self, like which one are you? And what I feel does happen in a lot of relationships is people get caught up in the roles that they are in, and they just continue with whatever they are doing, even though it hasn't been working for them for a really long time. And by the end of 10, 20, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years of relationship, marriage, they become so dried up, so tired, so burnt out that they swear off men, swear off marriage, swear off relationships, swear off commitments. But actually, we were all just being unconscious about what is happening. So it's really important from time to time to go and get, I feel, support when there's even any unhappiness, so that they can facilitate this out of you and they can actually reflect back what is happening to you so that there is illumination. And so it's like a temperature check. It's not that that's right or wrong, and it doesn't need to feel that there's any shame around it as well. So this is Martha from Eros Coaching, sharing with you my first video from my office about this 3 different types of possible selves that is happening in a relationship. So do share your comments and thoughts below. And I look forward to seeing you in my next video. So do check out my website. That's eroscoaching.com.